Our next step is to create a macro, okay? Up to now, we've just been creating the outline, but we haven't actually created the macro. So time to use the MacroGen to generate a macro. So use the create macro icon, which is this one here, this yellow thing, and I click. And it says, please register to enable this feature. Now, that's what happens if you just have the demo version of the program. But if you register when you save the macro, after you've registered, when you hit this button, it will create the macro, and then you can use it and test it. So this much, everything I've shown you, you can do with the free version of the MacroGenerator. If you want to register, go up here to Help and choose Register. It wants my name and my email address, and it wants a serial number. And OK. So it says we have registered successfully and we need to restart the program. So File, Exit, and let's start it again. And yes. And let's choose Last Project. There we are. Now, we're registered. This time when we try to create a macro, we can. So create macro. So it says macro created. Let's go ahead and test it. Now, one thing you can do if you want to run a macro is you can start up PatternMaker and just say, you know, I want to run a particular macro. But we also have a way in this program to test a macro, and that's what we want to actually do. So File, Test Macro. Dimension units, we want centimeters, and OK. It started PatternMaker a little bit off screen. We'll move it in a moment. Here are our default neck and the height. Here's our default neck. It shows where the neck is. This is the little illustration that we uploaded. This is our default value, and there's the height. So I click OK, and it draws the object. Okay, see how these curves turn out nicely? Great. Now, let's try it again with a different set of measurements. I'm going to close this, save it, no. Okay, so let's try our File, Test Macro in PatternMaker. And this time I'm going to give a radically different neck. This is going to be, let's make it 40 by 40. So remember, the width is only really half of the measurement, but it'll still be a different kind of perspective. It'll be a fatter, see, this is a fatter pattern because we gave it a larger number. So there we are. So we've created a macro and it totally works, and it's pretty great. So let's close out of this again. Save it, no. Okay, so our macro does seem to work, and it's sizable, so you can type in the sizes when you run the macro. This is kind of the simplest possible case, a really, really simple pattern with only one piece in it, although you'd have to make two of them to actually make a hood. But in any case, it's a pretty simple pattern. If you're able to get this much to work, then you're ready to start our next tutorial.